Hey, good morning. Thanks for tuning in to Concrete with the Hosses. It is Monday morning. It was a long weekend. I'll tell you about it later. The guys are busy pouring a swimming pool deck. So it rained quite a bit over the weekend, and we're just pouring the hard side right now. We're using fiberglass rebar. The nice thing about this is that we don't need our electrical inspection because usually we use steel. So fiberglass, the pool company can go ahead and get their bonding inspection before we even get here. So this is all a cantilevered concrete edge right here. So this form will come off. So this is what we use on this face to keep the concrete from sticking on that. So we are underway. So we're about 5 minutes from pouring right here. So now I put a coat of our PAM on. So he's right here. I already sprayed this once. Now I just put a fresh coating on it. Smells good too. Jim's putting our chairs under. We're using 2-inch chairs to hold the rebar up in place. Doesn't do any good on the bottom of the concrete. You got to get them up in the concrete. So number 2 was on deck mixing up while number 1 was finishing. 2-minute setback time. We're right back to pouring. That way there's no cold joint there. After I tucked and vibrated and floated, now I just come back over with a hammer. Oop. And just give it a love taps. Not hard banging, but you can see that concrete moving and just settling a little bit more right into place. Guys, we're underway again. Okay, so last corner, just double checking, making sure our rebar are up on their chairs, looking good. Edge is all done down to here. All right, talk to you in a minute. Border is cut in there and here. Just working on this last side. So we come in 12 inches and we'll put a cut right here. Off the corner we'll do a diagonal and then 12 inches this way. That gives us good relief in this corner. So I start my edger right here. That's Steve's first mark. So I come up to it and I transfer it out here in the concrete. We have to put the camera down and do this. This has an adjustable slide on it, and we can make that whatever we want up to 12 inches. In this case, we're going 11 inches to meet the auto cover box. Steve's doing final layout. They're snapping lines across so that all of our cuts line up from each other. So when they're up on that balcony looking down at it, everything's nice and straight, looking uniform. So I'll go ahead and set this down and keep going. It might be a little bit noisy in the camera with this big edger. It's best to do this when the concrete's kind of loose yet. You take your hand, help it down in. So that's how I want these corners protected. 11 inches in, 12 inches back on a 45. Everything lines up real nice. This will get broomed this way, then the main gets pulled straight out. One more cut to go there. Finishing up that corner. Steve, how are we looking over here?
Good.
Same way? Yep. Perfect. Center cut here, and we centered it from the form to our cut. This is 10 foot minus a foot, so 4'6", 4'6". Center from up there, everything lines up. I'm gonna go put a camera up there and get a look at that. Okay, there's the pool deck all done. 4'6", 4'6", 1 foot border. Pads are laid out evenly and our cuts line up across from each other. So everything looks real nice, as well as our crack protection. Plenty of crack protection off of those corners, down the center, and then divided up evenly. Closer lid, we have not 45s, just angle cuts coming off of both sides. Skimmer box. So it's just a straight broom, but I think it looks pretty nice for plain concrete. No decorative concrete. Next we have this pad coming. This is their outdoor grill area. We're going to go ahead and get that poured next so that they can start building that, as well as the porches. So stay tuned and watch all that. And one thing I did forget to say is we have to pull that inner form off on these 3 sides, and then Once it's tighter, we'll take that off and take a sponge and clean that face up. I cut my hand the other day cleaning out the track, so I'm waving that in front of the camera and it probably looks terrible, but it's really not that bad. It's probably looks worse than it is. Back to this. We're going to wait about an hour to take those off, and if we take them off too soon, we'll get a hairline crack right at the cantilever point, and there would really be no way to fix that. So make sure it's good and hard, take that off, and a light sponge. We did a lot of vibration on that face, so the holes should really be to a minimum. Just a light sponge, and that's really all it's going to take. So I'll video that next. Stay tuned. Okay, so we're out here on this front porch. Rebar's in place. We just stayed with the fiberglass rods. They seem to be working pretty good. I'm going to wrap these posts with expansion joint. They go down in the concrete. I prefer these sitting on the concrete. In this case, they're already bolted to our wall, so we're just going to wrap them with expansion joint. I did lay out from here to here is 14 inches. So I put a pencil mark at 14 back. So we'll run a tool cut across here to the back side of the post. Back side of the post to wall. So it's going to want to crack off of this corner. So we'll give it a slight angle cut here and here. So we have relief on both corners, relief here, and both ways there. We'll put a center cut right to the post here. And there's my mark on the wall, right behind Tommy. Matching over here. Mark. Everything's laid out for when concrete gets here. Steve's just putting a couple braces on this. Putting our sill board on there. One cut center through the center of the sill, center of face, and that'll be done. Same as out back, straight broom, no edge mark. Marking his height. Need wire tie on that, or you think they'll hold? That one's not very big. Alright, just screw that on, we're done there. It's been about 2 hours. Concrete's getting pretty set up, pretty tight. I don't think the threat is there anymore about this crack. So they just have these clips in. Take your hammer and pull them out. Right, like so. Get a claw in there. And just a slight little tap down. Voila. Give them a toss. They get cleaned up and reused. Just some light taps. Once it comes loose. How about that, huh? Okay, got it. Yep. Barely needs touch. So this side is all done. It only took minutes. With the vibration, the PAM cooking oil on it, the form's released real nice. And when you're in the water, you know, right at eye level, it's important this looks nice. You're gonna see it close up. Got a nice roll, soft edge there. It doesn't tear up the backs of your legs. Steve's pulling that side now. This face is all done. Looks nice. So Steve's getting these corners out. This is the hardest part, getting these 45 corners out. There's no wiggle room there. So once you start with the littlest one and get that out, and then you're good to go. Couple swipes and it cleans it up real nice. I'd leave it right like that. I just wanted the face to match the top. So I grab a brush. Now everything matches. Slight difference in texture from the sponge to the brush. I doubt anybody would ever question it though. Okay. Now we'll take a clean sponge, clean these corners out. You got that nail, Steve?
I don't.
Okay. We'll run a saw cut through here tomorrow. But we clean those corners. Everything else is nice and clean. I went around and cleaned this border, the bottom off. Okay, pool is done. Let's head out and do those porches. I heard the mixer pull in. Good timing. Got out here just in time. Underway pouring. Steve's working on the face. Pour the base, shovel it into the sill. Just take your time, don't splash up the door. If you do, we just wipe it off. We're gonna get a little bit of concrete on there. Yeah, get a little bit more on the sill.
Probably like
Just keeping it real nice and into these stones. Now it's keeping his float nice and clean. Right in there. Bringing that over and off. No downspouts. Caps are on them. One time we filled one up. Cap, good to go. Rods are up on chairs. Underway. Kind of thick back there. But there's no ledge to sit on, so we're drilled in. I don't mind it being a little heavy. I think it's money well spent. That way it'll bridge right across. This way as well as that way. So if Steve just taps, we get a lot of movement, but a lot less tapping if you take a float and put down pressure and force the compaction. Now that's really getting the air out of there. To run over and move a vehicle, a little bit of bull floating. Where'd all the extra concrete go? Right on the money. So we put our expansion joints in and they just float there. I didn't nail them to the post, I cut them a little bit big. We like a little gap right around there. Right there. That gives that post just a little bit of wiggle room. Looks good, guys.
Looks good, Matt.
Looks good, Matt. Alright, truck's moving down the hill, up the hill. Okay, last thing we're pouring here for now is our step and pad. I ran this board long and I cut these little blocks. This is a 90-degree angle. So I screw those in, that holds a square going back. It just trues everything up there and there, set to the right height. So here he comes right next to our brand new pool concrete. Right in place. So center here, we'll saw cut right through that sill and down the face. Nice size pads. Over here, a little bit different. We have these two posts, so we're working off of these posts. If they weren't here, I would probably do center and one. Since the posts are here, that sort of messes up my center, but that does put a lot of stress there. So we're going with that off of the posts, just like we talked about earlier. Making this a border. Easy angles off of there. Right, like so. So we'll cut those in, continue that across, straight back. I think Steve's trying to tell me to get something done. I know. Oh, okay. All right. So we just put our groove right on the inside edge so that this all lines up. Good. Just steadying the board form so it doesn't move. Still pretty soft yet. Okay, I'm gonna back up a little bit. So good? And these, just give them a little wiggle. Most likely, there we go. Most likely they're putting bottoms on here and a good bit of this is getting covered. But that's what we're looking for. Scrape up a little bit of cream.
Using that same one.
Okay, so once these tighten up, we can definitely clean those up. Straight back. Those chunks are never, ever, ever going to fall out of there, if that's what you're thinking. Steve just took care of that sill. Pretty wet, he said. We'll broom it from inside. Holding real nice. I hate them when you see them come across and the corners sag. So we like them nice and straight. Opening our joints up as we come down. That way it's ready to broom. Take care of this border. And I can edge underneath this. The guys are working over here, taking care of this longer one. And again, same thing, we'll probably just broom that from inside the house. I just got done brooming the border face all across here. Steve's hitting the sill, winding down. We're going to broom this straight out. Plenty of traction there. It's a covered porch. We've got a wall and a wall. It'd be very difficult to get a sideways broom on there. So we gave them cross traction here at the step. We'll be okay with the grain trap brooming up there. So we'll get that taken care of. Get on the road. Okay, I had to let the camera charge up a little bit. I just finished brooming this porch. Just brought it out, stopped it at the border cut. Get a nice clean transition all the way across there. We're going to leave these boards for tonight. We'll take them off tomorrow when I come back to chase these cracks down. So last porch. Still pretty soft. Just a nice light broom. I'm holding up a little bit on it. Nice easy transition in the back. Keep the handle nice and low. It's feathering right off the front. Same thing, whenever I move it into the sill, I don't want to touch that sill and mess up the broom marks. Just give it a little fluff right there. Okay. There it is, all done. So that's a wrap for this project right now. We're going to head over and get a driveway ready. Busy day for us. Swimming pool, 2 front porches, and a decorative pad for a outdoor kitchen. So I hope you liked it. Tell your friends. Keep this channel growing. Hit that like and subscribe button. See you on the next one.